So what motivates Radames in this opera is virtue and honor. He is a very honorable warrior, and interestingly enough, he's probably the only character that doesn't willingly hurt other people. What really drives and motivates Radames is honor.
I wouldn't necessarily consider Amonasro the villain of Aida. I think as the ruler of a country, he's got, in his view, larger priorities to attend to in ruling his country and trying to secure for them, health, wealth, prosperity. I disagree with the way he goes about it. I think he's definitely the villain in the relationship between him and Aida. He does not prioritize her in his decision making. And while it's really easy to cast him as the villain in that relationship, as far as a character, I can find a lot to still empathize with him about.
Lillian keeps it fresh by exploring the characters from scratch with each of us, because 9 years ago we were completely different cast. Everybody brought something different to the table. I'm a different person from 9 years ago, and I bring something completely different to the table. Maturity, life experiences, therapy, all that. So it's going to be quite different in terms of motivation, even if you look at it and the blocking is close to the same. All the sub stories, the subtexts, the history of the characters is reinvented.
What is it like to find myself or my character in the center of a love triangle?
Oh, sorry.
Well, first of all, we're not having any fun in this cast at all.
We can't stand
each other. Okay. What's it like being caught in the middle of a love triangle? For Radames, the interesting thing about that is that he doesn't really realize that he's caught in the middle of the love triangle. He doesn't realize that Amneris, the princess, has been in love with him, and when she realizes that she can marry him, she's just so excited about it. He has no idea about that. They grew up together, but I think, from my perspective, Radames really views Amneris as a friend, and it comes as a shock to Radames in Act 4 when he actually realizes that she loves him so much that she would do whatever she can to stop his death.
I mean, I would buy that I'm a warlord king disguised as a soldier, vicious and barbarous and very dangerous.
Except that I see through him. He's too eloquent. His protestations at the beginning of his role are too eloquent for a barbarous soldier. Yeah. I kind of see through him. So I decided to keep him as a captive.
And my disguise doesn't last very long anyway, because literally I walk in the room and Aida's like, "Oh, Daddy!" So I managed to hold on to some of my secrets a little longer than that, but pretty much right from the outset, the plan does not go as planned.
The critical part of the opera is actually reflects Verdi's insight about the real triangle of conflict, which is the power triangle rather than the love triangle. It's religion, governance, and love/sex. So it's like the love triangle is only part of the bigger triangle. Ramfis is a multidimensional character, especially in Lillian Groag's direction. His stakes are much higher. He loves Amneris and he brought her up. He's the one who decided that Radames would be the head of the troops. He has groomed him for that role for so long, and he's invested personally in that. He's the one who's the true power behind the throne, who makes all the decisions and whispers in the king's ear. So, that's why Ramfis is actually much more of a central character than the length of his role, and Lillian brings that forward in a beautiful way.
I would sum up Aida in the word magnificent. The score is just stunning. It's so beautiful. The tunes, the melody that Verdi wrote, I mean, it's just incredible. And then the spectacle of it all. It's just, I would say, magnificent.
If I had to use one word to describe Aida, maybe slapping. Slaps pretty hard. Like you're a little surprised, you kind of go in, you expect it to be a thing, and all of a sudden, like, it holds it back, and then the bass drops a little. It slaps. I mean, it really does. You get into Act 2.
Nice.
Slaps pretty hard for the kids.
Hyphenated word for me, it's life-altering. I became an opera singer because I saw Aida at the Pyramids. And I was recruited to the whole art form through the process of putting an opera together. I watched the rehearsals as well as the performances with an international cast. That was, well, I'm going to betray my age. That was 1987. And I was studying architecture at the time. And I decided to become, finished my degree, but I abandoned the engineering and I became an opera singer. And that's the reason I'm an opera singer today. It's still, after all these years, it gets you in the guts, the story, especially if it's well acted and well explored dramatically.